When you were a little kid and learned it wasn't safe to share your feelings, your body took note. When you were 12 and swallowed your tears and your anger to keep the peace, your tissues remembered. And when you were a teen and you pushed through exhaustion to meet everybody's expectations of you, your nervous system adapted. I'm Auntie Ma, and for over 20 years as a physical therapist, I've worked with hundreds of women whose bodies are still living by rules they learned decades ago. Rules like your needs don't matter, rest is weakness, and you have to be strong for everyone else. And here's what nobody tells you. Your body doesn't forget those lessons or instructions. It stores them in your tissues, in your fascia, in your muscles, and in your entire nervous system. And over time, those stored patterns don't just create tension and pain, they create chronic inflammation, autoimmune conditions, and exhaustion that no amount of sleep can fix. So today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how childhood experiences get encoded in your body, what happens to them over 10, 20, and 30 years, and why this explains symptoms that doctors can't quite figure out. So let me start by explaining what actually happens when you experience something overwhelming as a child. Your brain has two main ways of processing experiences. The first is through your prefrontal cortex, the thinking, reasoning part of your brain. But when you're young, that part isn't fully developed yet. So when something feels too big, too scary, too unsafe, your brain takes a different route. It sends that experience straight to your amygdala and limbic system, which is the emotional and survival-based parts of your brain. And here's what's critical. Those parts of your brain don't speak in words, they speak in sensations, in physical sensations, in muscle tension, in breath patterns, in nervous system responses that you don't even have to think about because they're automatic. So when you were 5 and you learned that crying made things worse for your family or for the people around you, your brain didn't file that away as a belief. It filed it as a physical response. Maybe you shut down, your throat tightened, your breath shortened, your chest compressed, and your nervous system tagged that moment as a moment to remember. Crying equals danger. Don't do that again. So I had a client share a story of how when she was 6 years old, she was getting in a fight with her siblings, and her parents were on the way to a family vacation. They were going to some cabin somewhere, and she was misbehaving. So she got dropped off at her grandparents' house because she was bad. And that's how she remembered herself for decades, that she was the bad kid, that she didn't deserve to have fun with her family. So maybe something similar happened when you were 12 and you swallowed your anger and your jaw clenched and your shoulders lifted because someone hurt you, but you had to suck it up because you were older now. And so your shoulders lifted, your jaw clenched, and your stomach nodded, and your body said, anger isn't safe, shut it down. And when you were 17 and you were a little older, you were taught, hey, you're going to be a woman now, act like an adult. And you pushed through exhaustion, which flooded your adrenals with cortisol and adrenaline, and your body learned rest is weakness, so keep going. So all these inputs, they're not conscious decisions. They were survival-based patterns, and your body stored them in the only place it could, in your body, your tissues, your fascia, your bones, your joints. These are baseline physical tension patterns, and over time, those patterns became your new normal. Now, here's what most people don't understand. Stored trauma doesn't just sit there quietly, it compounds over time. So think of your body like a cup. So every time you suppress an emotion, push through exhaustion, ignore your needs, you're pouring water into that cup. When you're young, there's room, but over 10, 20, 30 years, that cup fills up, and eventually it starts overflowing. And that overflow is what you're experiencing as symptoms. In your 20s, it might just look like tension, tight shoulders, jaw pain, headaches, the normal, oh, I'm exhausted because I partied too much kind of pain. But you pushed through, you got a job, you got a career, and you became resilient. So in your 30s, that tension becomes normal pain, back stiffness, neck stiffness, pain, digestive issues. You're more tired, but you tell yourself it's just life. That's normal for everybody. You have work, you have kids, you have a family, you have a house, all these responsibilities. So by the time you're in your 40s, well, that pain is chronic. You wake up exhausted even if you sleep for 8 hours. Your joints ache. You get diagnosed with fibromyalgia or Hashimoto's or rheumatoid arthritis or chronic fatigue syndrome when they can't fit you in a box. Your labs might look normal or they show inflammation, but no one can explain why. So let me tell you about one of my clients. She's a high achiever in her 40s, did everything right, the clean diet, the supplements, followed doctor's orders, exercised consistently, and she still had autoimmune flare-ups. And when we started working together, what we uncovered was that it's not a food trigger, it was a lifelong pattern of overdoing and overgiving because she had been the responsible one since she was a kid. So she's the one who took care of everybody and the one who didn't need anything herself and the one who certainly never dared to complain. And so her body was still running that program. Constant vigilance, constant output, no permission to to rest, and her immune system was exhausted from decades of that internal pressure. So this is what's happening underneath the surface. Your fascia, the connective tissue wrapping every muscle, organ, and nerve, has been tightening for decades, like shrink wrap, pulled tighter and tighter. It holds the grief you never cried, the anger you never expressed, the fear you never felt safe enough to release. Your nervous system has been stuck in sympathetic overdrive, fight or flight, for so long it's forgotten how to turn off. Cortisol, adrenaline, on repeat. And when your nervous system stays activated for years, your immune system gets confused and it starts seeing everything as a threat, including your own cells. It can't tell the difference between a real danger and your own tissues. That's inflammation. That's autoimmunity. That's your body protecting you from a danger that isn't there anymore, but still feels very real inside your tissues. So, if your body has been storing all of this for decades, why doesn't it just let go? Why do symptoms persist even when you're eating clean, taking supplements, going to therapy, doing meditation? Here's the truth. Your body won't release what it's holding onto until it feels safe. And right now, your nervous system doesn't feel safe if you're still experiencing chronic inflammation. It's still operating from childhood rules and patterns. Don't cry, don't rest, don't need anything, don't complain, stay strong, keep going, push through. But every time you push through exhaustion, your body gets the message, we're still not safe. Keep your defenses up. And every time you say yes, when you mean no, we still can't trust our voice, so we stay on guard. And every time you ignore pain or fatigue, you're telling yourself, we're not allowed to have needs. Keep storing. And this is why your cup is overflowing. This is why talk therapy alone won't cut it. You can intellectually understand your childhood. You can process memories. You can even learn to forgive people and let go. But if your body is still holding on, then nothing really changes. Symptoms persist. And this is also why diets and supplements only go so far. They can support your system, but they don't unlock what's been stored in your fascia. They don't retrain your nervous system. Your body needs a different message. It needs to feel physically, mentally, and emotionally safe, and that the danger is over, that it's safe to soften, safe to rest, safe to receive, safe to release what it's been holding on to for 20, 30, or even 40 years. So if you're watching this thinking, this is me, my body has been in survival mode for decades, then I want to pause here for a moment, because understanding this is so powerful. But you also need a path forward, because otherwise nothing changes. This is why I've created a free Autoimmune Freedom Workshop that walks you through exactly how to start teaching your nervous system that it's safe to let go. And after the workshop, you can apply to book a free activation call with my team, where we'll map out what your body's been holding on to and create a personalized plan to help you finally heal. The link is in the description below. This workshop has been a complete game changer for hundreds of women, and I'd love to support you too. Now let's get back to it. Let me give you some specific signs your body is still holding onto childhood patterns. First, chronic muscle tension that won't release, no matter how much you stretch or get massages or go to chiro, especially in your shoulders, jaw, your hips, or your pelvic floor. These are common storage areas for suppression and over-responsibility. Second, if you hold your breath without realizing it throughout the day as you're going through your day-to-day life, or your breathing always stays shallow or up in your chest and throat, that's a nervous system stuck in protection. A third sign is digestive issues that don't fully resolve even with clean eating. You might still have bloating, constipation, IBS. These are clearly now linked to anxiety and your thought process. Your gut is deeply connected to your nervous system, so if one is dysregulated, the other will be too. Fourth, if you feel exhausted even after rest, you can sleep 8, 9, 10 hours and you still wake up tired because your body isn't actually resting. It's running survival programs in the background. And the fifth sign is frequent illness or autoimmune flares that seem random and happen for no reason. They're unpredictable and you just don't know when one's going to come or go. That means that your immune system is overactive because your nervous system keeps signaling danger. And finally, if you feel disconnected from your body and you live in your head, you don't notice hunger until you're starving, and you don't notice you need the bathroom until it's urgent. You don't feel emotions until they explode. That's dissociation, and it's one of the most common protective patterns that I've seen. So if you're recognizing yourself in this, I need you to hear this clearly. This is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Your body has been doing exactly what it was designed to do, to protect you. But now it's time for you to teach your body something new. So notice I said learn something new. This means that you have to acquire some new skills, because if you keep going to doctors and getting lab tests and going on diets and taking supplements and pills, you're not learning anything new. You keep hoping that something outside of you can fix you or save you. But the only thing that will truly change you is if you change. That means there are some skills that you need to learn, and learning how to regulate your nervous system and rewire survival mode patterns into calm and regulated patterns, that takes learning some new skills. So if you're recognizing yourself in what I've shared today, if you're realizing that your body has been holding onto childhood trauma for decades, and that's why your symptoms won't fully resolve, I have 3 things that can help you right now. First, take my free inflammation indicator test. It's a 5-minute assessment that helps you uncover the real roots of your flare-up, not just the physical triggers, but the emotional and nervous system patterns that are keeping you stuck. You'll get your results instantly, plus a personalized plan based on your score. So the link is in the description below. Second, you can join my free Autoimmune Freedom Workshop. In this workshop, I walk you through exactly how to start teaching your nervous system that it's safe to let go of what it's been storing. And after the workshop, you can also book a free activation call with our team where we'll map out what your body's been holding onto and create a personalized healing plan just for you. That link is also in the description. And finally, if this video helped you see your body and your symptoms in a completely new way, please subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. I create new videos every week on healing your nervous system, releasing stored trauma, and finally feeling good and free in your body. I love the work that I do, and I'm so grateful to be here to guide women on their journey of healing and freedom. So I'll leave you with this. Your body isn't broken. It's been protecting you. And now that you know and understand how it's been storing trauma all these years, you can finally give it what it's been waiting for. So I hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.